Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Connecticut's Old State House. I'm the executive director of the Connecticut Democracy Center at Connecticut's Old State House, Sally Whipple. The Old State House, as you may know, is a 1796 Capitol building that spoke to the future of a newly formed nation through its architecture and the debates that raged within these neat federal symmetrical walls. It was a noisy place inside because there was a lot to decide. When I was director of the Noah Webster House and then the Lebanon Historical Society Museum, I spent a lot of time looking at the Revolutionary period. One summer in Lebanon, we did a kids camp. We looked at the experiences of Lebanon men at the Battle of Bunker Hill. One man had described in his pension that he was running up the hill and had grape shots or bullets going between his legs as he ran. Another one had a shot right through his hat. And another one grabbed a burning hot weapon from a dead body and ran on to fight. We read these pension records with the kids and thought about these men's lives in Lebanon and on the battlefield. At the end, when I asked what the kids had learned, one girl said, "I learned that every day when I walk around Lebanon, I'm walking where soldiers from Bunker Hill once walked. I had learned about the battle in school, but I had no idea that Lebanon men had fought in it. That makes everything different." That's the power of place, knowing that what happened beneath your feet makes history real and changes your perspective. My perspective on this plot of land beneath our feet today changed when I learned this story. In September 1780, a wooden state house stood here. General George Washington and France's General Rochambeau met in that State House yard for the first time. Washington came with Hamilton, and he was losing the war badly. But here, Rochambeau took the measure of the man as a general and determined that with help, Washington and his army could win the war. They left this yard to go over to the Wadsworth Mansion, where the Athenaeum now is, and they cemented a French-American alliance that helped win the war. That's the power of place, knowing what happened beneath where you stand. Connecticut played a much larger role in our nation's founding than many of us realize. And it wasn't just about men on the battlefield or generals in the field or politicians gathered in meeting rooms. It was about women stepping into the political arena for the first time and in new ways. It was about Black and indigenous men working toward freedom and full citizenship. It was about so many different people and ideas, many of which connect right back here to this important civic space. Like all history, the histories and stories of our founding are rich and they are very complex. As we approach this 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States, I am so very pleased that we are launching new opportunities for research, collaboration, education, and reflection, this fresh look at our history and ourselves at Connecticut's Old State House today. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you here and to also introduce the people who will be giving remarks today before the signing. First, we will hear Jason Mancini from the Connecticut Humanities Council. Then we will hear from the Department of Economic and Community Development Representative Kathy Labadia, the Deputy State Historic Preservation Officer. Then we will hear from former Secretary of State Denise Merrill, and then Governor Lamont. Thank you very much for being here today. Jason?
Thanks, Sally. I'm Jason Mancini, Executive Director of Connecticut Humanities. I'm so excited to be here. Back in March 2020, Connecticut Humanities convened a group at the Connecticut Historical Society to begin thinking about America 250 and Connecticut's role in the birth of our nation. Then a global pandemic hit and hit the pause button on the process. Despite that, we've not stopped forging ahead. We're so grateful to Governor Lamont and his team for creating a commission to guide our work. The commission will work to acknowledge our storied Revolutionary era history in subsequent 250 years. I hope that we will also lay the cornerstone for imagining Connecticut's future. Our past and our future are entwined. We build from Connecticut's centuries-long civic tradition that has inspired and informed the rights of individuals and the electoral process. The fundamental orders of 1639, the Connecticut Compromise of 1787, the Constitution of 1818, and the Connecticut Constitutional Convention of 1965 all represent electoral milestones in the state's history and key elements of the governing foundation of the United States. As a lead funding organization in the state, Connecticut Humanities, along with our partners in DECD, Office of the Arts, and State Historic Preservation Office, we've encouraged all of our grantees to see themselves as part of Connecticut's trajectory towards the cause of liberty, justice, and representation in this country. We're 3 days away from our July 4th celebration this year. I want to encourage everybody to remember the names of Connecticut signers of the Declaration of Independence: Roger Sherman, Samuel Huntington, William Williams, Oliver Wolcott. They codified for us certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Many other Connecticutans, including a disproportionate number of Pequots, Mohegans, Pagusets, Schaghticokes, and members of other tribes, as well as many, many African Americans, fought and died for these rights. Connecticut is now a very different place than it was 250 years ago. Our elected leaders, including Governor Lamont and Secretary of State Merrill, keep our state on the vanguard of representative government, ensure the preservation of our inalienable rights, and light the pathway towards a more perfect union. On behalf of our partners in this commission, I offer my deep gratitude to Governor Lamont for his support and leadership in establishing Connecticut Semiquincentennial Commission. Thank you.
Good morning. The State Historic Preservation Office looks forward to being part of a coalition of public and private partners to create initiatives and programs that honor Connecticut's contribution to the Revolutionary War and the formation of our independent nation. We thank the Governor for signing this executive order at the start of the July 4th weekend, and we appreciate the language in it to make this the most inclusive anniversary celebration ever. Each year at this time, our nation celebrates the freedoms and rights we hold as individuals. As we build up to the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the events leading to the creation of the United States of America, we are motivated to think about how we have changed and developed during this time. It will be a period to not only reflect on who we are and how we got here, but also an opportunity to inspire and imagine Connecticut's next 250 years. Thank you.
Well, I think I'm next. Denise Merrill's former Secretary of the State by one day. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here today to launch on this important weekend, to launch the America 250 celebration, which I hope will be inclusive, important, and an opportunity for what I think of as a civics lesson for us all. You know, it's no secret that for many years, Connecticut's been a leader in civic education. We have a requirement here in Connecticut that every student graduating from a high school in Connecticut have a course in civics before they graduate. This is a chance for all of us to have that lesson and to have everyone included, and a chance to review the incredible history here in Connecticut of the founding of this country. And this time, we can retell it. We can include everyone, and that is what this commission is about. I hope that we will also be able to involve every single town in this state, because there are so many stories like the one Sally told you originally about what went on in Connecticut, about the people who were involved in making all this happen. And so that will be our effort, I hope. should the governor see fit to appoint me to this commission, that I hope we can bring together all the many historic agencies, the state agencies involved with this, including education, DECD, so many others, so that we can all celebrate as a people what happened those 250 years ago. So thank you very much. And many thanks to Governor Lamont for making this happen.
Anybody else want to say anything? I'll just say that Semiquincentennial, that'd be a winner in Jeopardy, let me tell you. That would, and don't take it for granted. We celebrate this historic moment, 250th anniversary, signing of the Declaration of Independence in a few years, because 250 years is a long time. Yeah, look at other republics, and they come and they go. And I think America continues to be an inspiration because of the Declaration of Independence, what it means in terms of life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. We're not just a nation of borders, we're a nation of ideals. And that's what July 4th is all about. And that's what this commission, I think, is going to remind people how important it is. And Sally, I love the history here. You know, Washington and Rochambeau, that helped win the Revolutionary War and make Declaration of Independence as meaningful today as it was 250 years ago. By the way, there's a great song in Hamilton, which is playing right over the bush note, called "Go, Baby, Go, Rochambeau." So we can make history come to life for people. I think Hamilton did that. Some of you are Taylor Swift groupies. I'm a Hamilton groupie. And I'm a Hamilton groupie because it reminded everybody from wherever they came from that you're a part of American history and what it means to you. And I love the diversity of the cast. I love the way they tell that story. I love the fact I'm going there next week for my 4th time, going with a lot of students so they can look up and see, hey, that's somebody just like me. And 250 years is a long time based upon an ideal, but you got to fight for your liberties. And I think right now we have Supreme Court that has sort of a one-sided view of life, liberty, one-sided view of liberty, and voting, and how important elections are. We know that they make a difference. You know, on a personal note, I don't like hearing former Secretary of State Denise Merrill. She's been a champion for voting rights, making sure that more people have an opportunity to vote, make it easier to vote with integrity. That has, you know, been her calling card, and we have it's going to be on the ballot in terms of early voting, so we can catch up and do what we can to make sure people have a stake in democracy. Again, on a personal note, I'm really pleased that my good friend Scott Bates is going to continue on as Deputy Secretary of State. He brings the knowledge, the gravitas, the integrity to make sure that we don't miss a beat as we come up through these important times. And for that, my friend, I really thank you in person. And yeah, Denise, I think I do get the right to appoint a citizen member. Let me think of some ideas. How about you? And I'd like to think I have a chance to appoint the next chairperson. And how about you? And I think it's good to get all the folks standing behind me involved there. This kid, Jake Bates, seems to know something about history and American history and passion for that, and does all the reenactments. So if you want somebody can give you some good ideas how to get young people involved and understanding what the meaning of 250 years, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness later on in order to form a more perfect union. We've never hit the finish line. We have more work to do. And I think that's what July 4th reminds us this weekend and for years to come. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. And now, we'll be signing the executive
Let's do
order.
it.
Yes.
Oliver Walcott.
I didn't know that story. People forget Yorktown, you know, to remind them.